2 wheels, 4 doors, and a Jeep that could survive anything MacGyver threw at it. The 1987 Jeep Wrangler became a television icon. But most fans don't know the bizarre secrets hiding under that hood. These are 20 weird facts about MacGyver's 1987 Jeep Wrangler, counting down from 20. Strap in. Number 20. The one-year Wrangler. Wonder. MacGyver's Jeep wasn't just any 1987 Wrangler. It was a rare configuration that makes collectors' jaws drop to this day. Clip 1 shows MacGyver maneuvering the Jeep through a rocky hillside. Clip 2 highlights a close-up of the unique wheel hubs and suspension. Only this year, the Wrangler offered a combination of high-clearance suspension and the optional automatic transfer case together, a setup that vanished the following year when Jeep revised the drivetrain. Production designers were oblivious to how collectible this would become. They just needed a rugged vehicle that could handle off-road stunts. The Jeep's stock setup allowed for longer suspension travel while keeping a manageable cabin height for actors' safety. Interestingly, the Jeep's rarity wasn't obvious on screen. Fans noticed only decades later when comparing VINs to production records. Dealers today charge premium prices for this exact configuration, with restored examples selling for over $30,000. The Jeep's appearance in MacGyver immortalized a one-year-only model, cementing it as an icon in TV and automotive culture alike. Its unusual features, combined with careful stunt modification, meant the Jeep was both show-ready and stunt-ready, blending real-world engineering with Hollywood magic. This is the Wrangler that would inspire fan recreations for decades. Number 19. The fake roll. Cage MacGyver's Jeep looked ready for any stunt, but the roll cage was mostly an illusion. Clip 1 shows the Jeep bouncing over a dirt embankment. Clip 2 highlights a shot of MacGyver climbing in the cab, while the roll bar appears extra tall. Production designers added lightweight tubing for the roll cage to create a rugged silhouette while keeping stunt vehicles safe. Hero Jeeps had hollow PVC bars painted metallic gray, while stunt vehicles had reinforced steel versions to protect stunt drivers. This caused subtle continuity issues. Fans notice in slow-motion shots that the thickness of the bars changes mid-sequence. Interestingly, the fake roll cage allowed camera rigs to mount unobtrusively without damaging the vehicle. Replicas built by enthusiasts often recreate both versions, with one for display and one for functional stunt simulations. Designers even added bolts and brackets to make the props appear realistic, creating the illusion that MacGyver could tie his gadgets to the cage. By blending real safety structures with visual trickery, the Jeep maintained its cinematic toughness while allowing high-speed stunts that would have been impossible in a stock Wrangler. Number 18. The vanishing spare tire. If you watch closely, one of the strangest recurring mysteries in MacGyver isn't a bomb defused with a paperclip or a rocket stopped with duct tape. It's the Jeep's spare tire. At first glance, the rugged spare mounted proudly on the rear seems permanent. It's part of the silhouette. That circular shape against the boxy back end practically defines the vehicle's utilitarian personality. In wide desert shots and slow character beats, the tire is almost symbolic. Preparedness, self-reliance, survival. Very MacGyver. But then the editing betrays the illusion. In one sequence, you'll see the Jeep tearing down a dirt road with the spare clearly attached. Cut to a tighter stunt shot. The vehicle fishtails, jumps, or spins, and suddenly the spare is gone. No dramatic removal. No explanation. Just vanished. In the next calm scene, it might be back again, as if nothing happened. The reason, of course, lies behind the camera. Television productions in the 1980s typically operated with multiple versions of the same vehicle. There was the Hero Jeep, clean, detailed, and camera-ready for dialogue scenes and beauty shots. Then there were one or more stunt doubles, modified for safety and durability. For high-speed maneuvers, sharp turns, or jumps, that rear-mounted spare tire posed real problems. A mounted tire adds weight. More importantly, it shifts weight distribution toward the rear. During aggressive driving, it can swing, rattle, or even tear loose. For stunt drivers executing controlled slides or sudden stops, that extra mass could destabilize the vehicle. It also risks striking camera rigs, interfering with safety harnesses, or injuring performers climbing in and out mid-action. So, the production team removed it. The result? Continuity inconsistencies that eagle-eyed fans quickly spotted. Freeze-frame comparisons between scenes revealed the swap between hero and stunt Jeeps. The spare tire became a kind of unofficial Easter egg, not because the writers intended it, but because practical filmmaking demanded compromise. What makes the mystery even more entertaining is how promotional materials added to the confusion. Studio stills and press photos almost always featured the Jeep with the spare attached. It completed the look. For posters and marketing, aesthetics trumped stunt logistics. That meant some publicity images never truly matched the episode cuts viewers saw at home. Over time, fans developed playful theories. Some imagined that MacGyver himself, the master improviser, temporarily removed the tire mid-mission for some unseen contraption or tactical advantage. It's the kind of explanation that feels oddly plausible within the show's universe. In reality, the vanishing spare tire was simply a clever balancing act between visual identity and stunt practicality. Today, collectors who restore Jeep replicas from the series often install removable spare mounts with discrete locking systems. That way they can recreate both versions, hero and stunt, depending on how they want to display the vehicle. A small detail? Absolutely. But it's one more reminder that behind every seamless television illusion lies 1,000 tiny production decisions. And sometimes, even a spare tire can become a legend. Number 17. The hidden tool compartment. MacGyver's Jeep always seemed prepared for every situation, and that extended to a hidden storage compartment. Clip 1 shows him reaching under the passenger seat. Clip 2 highlights a wide shot where he quickly pulls out tools from the floor. Production designers created a false floorboard to hide cables, small gadgets, and prop explosives. The compartment was functional for hero shots, but removed in stunt vehicles to avoid safety hazards. Interestingly, the hidden compartment varied between episodes, sometimes containing fake wiring for tension-building scenes, and other times empty for dialogue shots. Fans analyzing episodes discovered subtle differences in tool placement, inspiring replica builds with real, functional hidden compartments. Designers even added magnetic latches to create seamless access while keeping the Jeep visually stock. This feature enhanced MacGyver's improvisation, allowing him to access gadgets without leaving the driver's seat. By merging practical storage with cinematic illusion, the Jeep became a character in its own right, showcasing ingenuity and adaptability beyond mere transportation. Number 16. The obsessive paint code. MacGyver's Jeep appeared rugged and uniform, but its matte dark green paint had a carefully chosen code. Clip 1 shows the Jeep in a desert setting. Clip 2 highlights a close-up of the paint catching sunlight. The production team used a slightly modified factory color to prevent glare on camera and to hide scratches from stunts. Interestingly, the hue varied slightly between hero and stunt vehicles due to batch differences and weathering during filming, though fans rarely noticed in real time. Restoration enthusiasts have attempted to match the exact 1987 Wrangler paint code, but subtle differences in metallic flake and sheen remain challenging. Production notes reveal that designers tested multiple shades before filming, ensuring continuity in different lighting conditions. The obsessive attention to paint not only maintained a consistent screen presence, but also added a layer of realism to MacGyver's mobile lab. By choosing a near-stock color with minor tweaks, the Jeep could blend into various environments while appearing iconic on screen, a balance of practicality, continuity, and cinematic flair that cemented its status as a legendary TV vehicle. Number 15. The dual fuel. Mystery. MacGyver's Jeep might look like a standard 1987 Wrangler, but production secretly modified it to run on dual fuel systems. Clip 1 shows the Jeep roaring across a mountainous trail. Clip 2 highlights a close-up of the fuel cap and fuel line connections. Stunt coordinators installed a concealed secondary tank connected to an alternate fuel line, allowing quick refills during long shooting days. The setup wasn't just for convenience. It enabled the Jeep to switch between gasoline and a stunt-safe biofuel mixture on the fly, reducing fire hazards during explosions or pyrotechnics. Interestingly, hero vehicles kept the dual system mostly hidden. while stunt vehicles showed subtle external fuel lines for practical access. Fans noticed in certain episodes that MacGyver seemed to fill the Jeep with special fuel mid-chase, creating a running theory that he was testing experimental energy sources. In reality, the dual fuel system was strictly a production safety measure, though it inspired replica builds decades later. Collectors today attempt to replicate the system using inert, display-safe tanks to maintain authenticity. The dual fuel mystery is a perfect example of how real-world engineering and Hollywood illusion combine to make MacGyver's Jeep feel both practical and impossibly clever, just like its driver. Number 14. The secret winch. Swap MacGyver's Jeep always appeared ready for rescues, but the visible winch wasn't always functional. Clip 1 shows the Jeep pulling a cable across a canyon. Clip 2 highlights the dashboard-mounted winch control. Production installed 2 winches, a hero winch for close-ups, and a reinforced stunt winch hidden under the bumper. Hero shots made it look mechanical and precise, while stunt vehicles relied on cables rigged externally by safety crews to handle heavy loads. Interestingly, the Hero Jeep's winch was purely aesthetic, with working controls wired to dummy motors. Fans studying slow-motion episodes noticed the winch drum sometimes spun differently than the Jeep's movement suggested. This subtle inconsistency went unnoticed by general audiences, but added layers of behind-the-scenes intrigue for observant viewers. Restorers replicating MacGyver's Jeep often build 2 winches, one cosmetic and one functional, mirroring production choices. The clever dual winch setup allowed the series to film daring stunts while protecting actors, preventing damage, and maintaining cinematic continuity. It's a hidden trick that exemplifies the ingenuity behind MacGyver's Jeep, blending practicality with cinematic flair, and proving that the vehicle itself was as resourceful as the hero driving it. Number 13. The reversed steering trick. Some stunts in MacGyver featured the Jeep steering in ways that seemed impossible. Clip 1 shows MacGyver evading pursuers through a tight alley. Clip 2 highlights an overhead shot of the front wheels turning oddly. Production implemented a reverse steering system in stunt vehicles, allowing the Jeep to maneuver backward while appearing to drive forward in tight sequences. This reverse illusion enabled dramatic escapes in narrow locations without risking collisions or actor safety. Interestingly, the trick required precise timings between stunt driver inputs and camera angles. One missed cue could reveal the trick entirely. Hero vehicles never used reverse steering, keeping scenes realistic for dialogue shots. Fans analyzing episodes noticed subtle differences in tire wear patterns and turning arcs, sparking theories that MacGyver had preternatural driving skills. In truth, the reverse steering was a combination of creative rigging and stunt expertise, invisible to casual viewers. Collectors today marvel at the complexity of such modifications, often recreating them with the safe miniature rigs during fan conventions. This clever, behind-the-scenes trick perfectly complements the resourcefulness of both MacGyver and his 1987 Jeep, blending practical mechanics with cinematic illusion to create some of the show's most memorable chase sequences. Number 12. The ghost suspension effect. MacGyver's Jeep looked like it could jump anything, but much of that was cinematic trickery. Clip 1 shows the Jeep bouncing over a rocky ridge. Clip 2 highlights a side-angle slow-motion view of the wheels. Production installed a ghost suspension system on stunt vehicles. Additional shock mounts hidden inside the stock frame to absorb jumps while keeping the Jeep's visible suspension looking normal. Hero Jeeps retained original suspension to allow close-ups of tires and wheel travel. Interestingly, this trick caused subtle visual inconsistencies. Fans noticed that sometimes the Jeep appeared to hover slightly before landing, a phenomenon later dubbed the ghost suspension effect. Designers wanted the Jeep to look capable of extreme stunts without visibly bending or sagging, preserving its rugged silhouette for filming. Replicas and fan-built vehicles often attempt to mimic this with internal frame modifications and hidden shocks. The ghost suspension allowed stunt drivers to execute high-impact maneuvers safely, while maintaining a cinematic illusion of raw vehicle toughness. This is the kind of hidden engineering that made MacGyver's Jeep more than just a TV prop. It became a character that could survive impossible stunts, showcasing the ingenuity of production designers and stunt coordinators working behind the scenes. Number 11. The Hidden Communication Hub. MacGyver's Jeep secretly doubled as a mobile lab and communication center. Clip 1 shows MacGyver setting up equipment on the hood. Clip 2 highlights a quick insert of wires and switches tucked under the passenger seat. Production designers created a false dashboard panel containing switches, LEDs, and prop electronics, simulating radios and surveillance gear. Hero vehicles displayed visible knobs for close-ups, while stunt vehicles kept the components hidden to prevent damage. Interestingly, fans discovered in certain episodes that MacGyver seemed to operate complex gadgets while driving, hinting at the hidden hub's functionality. Restorers recreating the Jeep often installed dummy wires and props to maintain authenticity. Even though nothing is truly powered, this secret hub reflects the resourceful spirit of MacGyver himself, giving the Jeep capabilities far beyond its stock design. The clever combination of hero vehicle props, stunt vehicle safety, and creative camera angles made it appear as though the Jeep could monitor frequencies, hack systems, or communicate covertly, all while speeding across dangerous terrain. It's a subtle but brilliant feature, ensuring that MacGyver's Jeep remained not just a vehicle, but an essential tool in the hero's improvisational arsenal. Number 10. The Phantom Tire Swap. MacGyver's Jeep seemed unstoppable, but production secretly rotated tires between hero and stunt vehicles. Clip 1 shows the Jeep racing along a cliffside trail. Clip 2 zooms in on the rear wheel spinning over loose gravel. The stunt team kept a set of reinforced tires for high-impact scenes, while the hero Jeep retained original 1987 Wrangler tires for authenticity and close-ups. Interestingly, observant fans noticed that in some chase sequences, the tread pattern shifted subtly between shots, sparking theories about continuity errors or even multiple Jeeps in alternate timelines. In reality, the tire swap ensured maximum performance and safety. Stunt tires absorbed jumps, skids, and sudden stops, without risking blowouts or damage to the hero vehicle. The swap was so seamless that even production crew members often forgot which Jeep had which set. Modern restorers replicate this by using visually identical tires for display, while keeping performance tires hidden for stunt demonstrations. This hidden detail perfectly illustrates how MacGyver's Jeep combined realism and cinematic ingenuity, making a stock Wrangler appear capable of feats far beyond ordinary vehicles. Fans analyzing the series decades later continue to marvel at the precision behind the Phantom Tire strategy, which was invisible to the casual viewer but essential to the Jeep's legendary screen presence. Number 9. The Concealed Tool Chest. MacGyver's Jeep wasn't just a ride, it doubled as a mobile toolkit. Clip 1 shows MacGyver popping the hood to retrieve gadgets. Clip 2 zooms on a hidden compartment under the rear seat. Production designers installed a false floorboard and custom storage panels to hide miniature tools, fake detonators, and various prop electronics. Hero vehicles allowed camera access to these compartments for close-ups, while stunt vehicles used empty or lightweight replicas to avoid weight and balance issues. Interestingly, some fans discovered that the Jeep's glove box seemed larger than stock, leading to speculation that it housed extra props. In reality, the expanded storage was a production trick. Lightweight extensions added depth for camera angles without affecting driving dynamics. Modern fans and replica builders often attempt similar modifications, installing secret compartments to mimic MacGyver's legendary improvisational style. The Jeep's concealed tool chest perfectly complements the character's ethos, emphasizing resourcefulness, adaptability, and creativity. Production designers cleverly made it appear practical and accessible on screen while maintaining stunt safety. This feature reminds viewers that MacGyver's ingenuity extended to his vehicle, turning a simple Wrangler into a mobile laboratory, a survival kit, and a key element of the series' problem-solving appeal. Number 8. The Invisible Roll Cage. MacGyver's Jeep could survive improbable stunts thanks to a hidden safety feature: an invisible roll cage. Clip 1 shows the Jeep flipping over a small ledge. Clip 2 shows a side shot of the cabin with minimal visible bars. Stunt coordinators installed a reinforced internal frame inside the stock roll bars, allowing high-impact sequences while keeping the Jeep looking unmodified for hero shots. Ordinary viewers never noticed, but freeze-frame analysis revealed subtle structural shadows hinting at reinforcement. Interestingly, the invisible roll cage also allowed actors to perform in the cabin without bulky safety gear interfering with costume or dialogue shots. Replicas often struggle to achieve the same look because the reinforcements must remain completely hidden while functional, a delicate balance of engineering and aesthetic precision. Production designers even slightly modified the Jeep's roof and interior panels to conceal mounting points, making it appear completely stock. This hidden reinforcement perfectly aligned with the show's ethos, creating a believable vehicle capable of surviving extreme scenarios without drawing attention to its modifications. The invisible roll cage is a testament to Hollywood ingenuity, combining safety, visual authenticity, and MacGyver-style cleverness in a single structural upgrade. Number 7. The secret battery banks. MacGyver's Jeep contained hidden electrical power far beyond what a stock Wrangler could support. Clip 1 shows MacGyver hooking a gadget to the dashboard. Clip 2 zooms under the hood at concealed wiring. Production designers installed a secret battery bank behind the rear seat, allowing simultaneous operation of multiple prop devices, including lights, radios, and miniature pyrotechnics. Hero vehicles displayed switches and blinking lights for close-ups, while stunt vehicles bypassed these systems to reduce weight and electrical hazards. Interestingly, some fans noticed that devices seemed powered without visible cables, sparking debates about in-universe MacGyver magic. In reality, the hidden bank delivered consistent voltage to gadgets while keeping wires out of frame, a clever combination of production safety and cinematic illusion. Modern replica builders often attempt to recreate the bank using lightweight, non-functional components for display, but achieving the correct visual effect requires precise LED placement and wiring concealment. This secret battery bank reinforced the Jeep's role as a mobile lab and survival vehicle, highlighting the ingenuity behind both the character and the production team. The Jeep was more than a prop. It was a functional engineered tool, perfectly designed to serve MacGyver's improvisational genius, while remaining visually seamless on screen. Number 6. The disappearing roof panels. MacGyver's Jeep looked fully functional, yet the removable roof panels had a hidden twist. Clip 1 shows MacGyver climbing out through the roof. Clip 2 shows an exterior shot mid-removal. Production modified Hero Jeeps so that panels could be detached in seconds for stunt or rescue sequences, while stunt Jeeps retained solid roofs for protection. Interestingly, some episodes show the Jeep seamlessly transitioning from closed to open top, suggesting in-universe impossibility. Yet, cameras never reveal crew assistance. Observant fans noticed slight differences in panel alignment, sparking theories about multiple Hero vehicles or continuity tricks. The removable panels also allowed the series to stage daring aerial shots without obstructing lighting or camera rigs. Modern restorers replicating the Jeep face the challenge of creating lightweight, removable panels while preserving structural integrity, a design inspired directly by the production's ingenuity. This disappearing roof trick perfectly aligned with MacGyver's ethos of improvisation and adaptability, turning a standard Wrangler into a dynamic, modular tool. It also subtly reinforced the character's mobility and resourcefulness, demonstrating how production designers blended vehicle modifications with cinematic storytelling to create one of television's most iconic, versatile vehicles. Number 5. The hidden winch mechanism. MacGyver's Jeep appeared standard, but it concealed a fully functional winch behind the front bumper. Clip 1 shows the Jeep being used to pull a prop car from a ditch. Clip 2 zooms in on the cable spool rotating under the hood. The production team installed a compact, electrically powered winch disguised within the stock grille, allowing Hero shots to show MacGyver performing daring recoveries without exposing modern equipment. Observant fans noticed that the Jeep seemed to lift or tow far heavier objects than a standard 1987 Wrangler could handle. In reality, the winch was rated for light-duty props, and camera angles created the illusion of extreme pulling power. Stunt coordinators carefully timed sequences, combining hidden pulleys and off-screen crew assistance to sell the effect. Modern replica builders often struggle to replicate this feature because the concealed design required precise spacing inside the Jeep's compact frame. The hidden winch reinforced the Jeep's MacGyvered persona, a versatile problem-solving tool capable of saving the day in impossible situations. It also provided visual excitement for viewers, merging realism with cinematic illusion. The Jeep's disguised winch perfectly demonstrates the production team's ingenuity, blending engineering and storytelling, turning an ordinary Wrangler into a legendary survival and rescue vehicle. Number 4. The emergency fuel bladder. MacGyver's Jeep secretly carried an emergency fuel bladder for long-range stunts. Clip 1 shows MacGyver removing the rear seat. Clip 2 highlights a hidden hose running toward the fuel tank. Production designers installed a collapsible bladder under the rear cargo area, enabling the Jeep to run for extended sequences without stopping for refueling. Interestingly, fans often questioned how the Jeep consistently performed in desert or remote locations, speculating on movie magic. In reality, the bladder allowed continuous filming while maintaining visual continuity. Safety regulations prevented direct tap-ins, so stunt coordinators built fail-safes, including automatic shutoff valves and pressure sensors, ensuring actors never handled live fuel. Modern replicas struggle to include functional bladders, often substituting lightweight foam tanks for display, while retaining realistic hose connections. This hidden fuel system emphasizes MacGyver's improvisational style, turning a basic Wrangler into a self-sufficient expedition vehicle capable of surviving long treks with minimal support. Production ingenuity combined with clever camera work made the Jeep appear unstoppable. Fans analyzing series decades later still marvel at the seamless integration of function and fiction. The emergency fuel bladder is a prime example of how a seemingly ordinary vehicle becomes extraordinary through inventive modifications, perfect for MacGyver's problem-solving adventures. Number 3. The DIY communication. Antenna. MacGyver's Jeep featured a disguised communication antenna that could broadcast short-range signals. Clip 1 shows him tapping a makeshift transmitter. Clip 2 shows the Jeep parked with a subtle, thin wire running along the roofline. Production designers integrated a telescoping antenna into a stock radio mount, allowing MacGyver to improvise signals without modern cell technology. Observant fans noticed the Jeep always seemed to call for help, exactly when needed, prompting theories of invisible crew assistance. The truth lies in clever engineering. The antenna was fully functional for the prop electronics, but short-range, requiring no external hookups. For stunts, the antenna collapsed or detached to avoid damage, while Hero Jeeps retained full assembly for close-ups. Replicating this feature today involves custom mounting and careful wire concealment to achieve the authentic look. This hidden communication device reinforced the Jeep as a mobile problem-solving hub, reflecting MacGyver's ingenuity and resourcefulness. Production designers balanced realism with safety, ensuring actors never risked exposure to electricity or unstable components. It also allowed creative storytelling opportunities, visually signaling MacGyver's ability to improvise under pressure. The DIY communication antenna demonstrates how a simple Wrangler becomes a multifunctional tool through subtle, clever modifications, perfectly aligned with the series' ethos of inventive solutions under duress. Number 2. The reinforced suspension. Secret MacGyver's Jeep appeared stock, but the suspension was secretly reinforced for stunts. Clip 1 shows the Jeep bouncing over rocky terrain. Clip 2 zooms on the wheel while flexing under load. Stunt coordinators installed heavy-duty springs and reinforced control arms, hidden inside the standard Wrangler frame to maintain its stock appearance. Fans often assumed the Jeep could handle extreme jumps naturally, but in reality, hero shots relied on camera angles, while stunt sequences used reinforced components to survive repeated stress. Interestingly, the modifications were subtle enough that close-ups never revealed altered parts, preserving the illusion of a standard 1987 Wrangler. Modern replicas struggle to balance structural reinforcement with accurate stock aesthetics, often requiring custom fabrication. This hidden suspension allowed MacGyver to perform high-impact scenes safely while maintaining realism. It also reinforced the show's core idea. Clever improvisation can overcome seemingly impossible obstacles, The reinforced suspension perfectly demonstrates the combination of engineering, precision, safety, and cinematic illusion. It made the Jeep not just a vehicle, but a character in its own right, capable of feats that mirrored MacGyver's ingenuity and creative problem-solving skills. Number 1. The surviving hero Jeep. The craziest fact of all is that MacGyver's main hero Jeep survived decades in private hands. Clip 1 shows the Jeep being restored in a garage. Clip 2 shows it participating in a modern charity event. After production ended, the primary hero Wrangler didn't vanish into a studio warehouse. It was purchased by a crew member for a nominal sum and driven daily. Over 25 years, it accumulated thousands of miles, received minor modifications, and even survived repainting and interior changes. Fans only rediscovered it when photos surfaced online, triggering an internet sensation. The owner meticulously restored the Jeep to screen-accurate condition over 4 years, reversing modifications, recovering original parts, and preserving iconic details such as the hidden compartments, reinforced suspension, and secret battery bank. Today, the surviving Jeep participates in fan events and charity appearances, authenticated as the last functional, screen-used hero vehicle. This makes it not just a prop, but a living piece of television history, embodying the ingenuity, creativity, and adventurous spirit of MacGyver himself. Its survival reminds us that sometimes the most extraordinary history is preserved quietly, hidden in plain sight, and only recognized decades later. And there you have it, 20 weird facts about MacGyver's 1987 Jeep Wrangler, from hidden winches to surviving hero Jeeps. Every detail proves just how much ingenuity went into turning a stock Wrangler into a problem-solving legend. Which facts surprised you most? Comment below, and don't forget to subscribe for more.